Welcome to the latest edition of the Mom's Playbook podcast. My name is Heather James, and as always, I'm joined by my pod partner, Jasmine Zor. In each episode, created by sports moms for sports moms, we dive into the intricacies of raising a student athlete, from managing practice schedules and travel arrangements to insider tips on recruiting, all while balancing our careers. We know each sport has its unique challenges, and we aim to explore and understand them all. Along the way, we share stories, enjoy some laughter, because, as moms, we understand the chaos, but wouldn't want to be anywhere else. Let's jump in.
All right, today we're joined by Vivian Martinez Borregales. She's a mom of three. Her daughter, Gabby, is a 3D artist and was an athlete throughout her middle and high school years. She also has two sons. Jose, her elder son, is a Lou Groza Award winner. He originally played for FIU, then transferred to Miami. He then signed on as a free agent for Tampa Bay Bucks, and he also did some time playing for Orlando Guardians in the XFL and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers. Her youngers, Andy, played for Miami Hurricanes as well, and was selected by the New England Patriots in the sixth round of the 2025 NFL Draft. Some interesting information I found when I researched them. Her sons are the third and fourth Venezuelans born in Venezuela in the NFL. So I think that's pretty cool. So
I didn't know that.
welcome, Vivian. We're so glad to have you. If you want to tell us a little bit about yourself and your husband, any sports background, things like that, before we get started.
Okay, yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much. And yes, there is with my kids, there is four Venezuelan that has been in the NFL. And the curiosity of that is all has been kickers. I think one of them actually play like a one game, and the other one, I think he haven't a chance to play. But it's cool. It's cool. I when Andy was selected in the past draft, in Venezuela, what everybody in Venezuela was crazy, and I think they were more famous in Venezuela than here. Everybody was talking about them. Yeah,
Yeah,
that
that's
was that was
exciting.
that was really cool. And about us, well, we are from Venezuela. We came here 20 years ago. It's long time and easy to say. So we moved because the political situation in Venezuela was getting hard, and we tried to come here to get better life for our kids. We always been very, very sport people. I played volleyball during my middle school and part of my high school. I'm from Caracas, that's the capital, Venezuela capital, and my husband is from Maracaibo, that is another big city in Venezuela. So I was living close to Maracaibo like for 4 years, and I played volleyball there. When we moved back to Caracas, there's nothing, no, non-school, anything with volleyball. So the school that I went to, they have kicking ball team. It's in Venezuela, the name is kicking ball. Here, the name is kickball. And
Okay.
it's a little different because in Venezuela, it's only for women's. No men's play. It's only women's. And it was at my time, it was a very, very huge league. So every school, like here, the school has teams and we play each other. And there is a winner in the school, and then you can play in regionals, and then you can play nationals. So it was a really huge at that time. I don't know if it's like that right now, but at that time it was very cool. So I started playing kicking ball. So who don't know what it is? It's baseball, but you play with a football, with a soccer ball. So whichever, so we kick the ball, we don't bat. So I think my kids get the kicking side for.
I had no idea. I have known you for years, and I never put it together that they're such studs because you were a stud.
Yeah. And my husband was a soccer player too when he was younger. He played soccer and a little of baseball. But another thing very interesting, my my grandfather, was a professional soccer player and he played for the national team in Venezuela. In
Wow. It's still forever in my head now.
Yeah.
Jose and Andy get their kicking from you, though. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Grandpa. But no, it wasn't you, Grandpa. It was Vivi.
Yeah. It was really fun. And after I graduated high school, then I continued playing. Actually, I played when I was pregnant with Gabby and I didn't know. And I played one game. So thank God she's there. So then I stopped a little bit and then we play again. But then I got pregnant with Jose. And after Jose, yeah, I stopped playing. But I play on almost until my 30s, my 20 something. Yeah.
Really?
Goodness.
Do you still play? You still go out in the backyard and kick the ball?
No, but you know what? I played soccer when I moved here. When Jose and Andy was in the soccer club, there is one of the dad that has a team with his coworkers. So he was a coach, and he has like a 5, 6 coworkers that that play. They wanted to play, and he create mom's soccer team, and we played with him like for a year. I was a
Oh my gosh. I need to see video of that, please. Does anybody have video?
I don't know. I don't know because we most practice than play games.
Right.
We were practicing all the week, but we play like a 2 or 3 games only. But it was.
Do you ever go out in the backyard and kick around with the boys?
I try, and it's so difficult to me. That ball, I don't know how they do it.
We'll get into that a little bit later, but I can't kick a football to save my
I
life.
don't know. I can't. I
It's so
can't.
hard.
Super hard. I don't know
Yeah.
how they do it. Try
How'd you guys end up here? Or how'd you guys end up in South Florida?
because I have family here. So when we decided to move out from Venezuela, Miami was the first place to come because I have family here that can help us with anything that we need. So that's why we end up here. And also, it was the most close culture to
Yeah.
us. So
Yeah, for
that's
sure.
the main reason.
I think that's part of the reason why Miami Hurricanes not only were the boys good, right? They were really, really good football players for the team, but I think the Hispanic background really brought in a lot more fans. Really, they connected. The fans connected with them a little bit more because of their backgrounds. I thought that was always special.
Now,
Yeah.
how old were they when you came over? How old were the boys?
Jose he was turning 7 and Andy was turning 2. And my daughter was turning 9, 10. So 2, 7, and 10.
Jasmine, what year did Jacob graduate?
2020.
Isn't that Andy's year?
No, 2021 was Andy.
That was a year off. I thought they might have been at camps together. I mean,
No,
maybe still, but
but they didn't know each other because normally the guys who keep together, the 20s and the 21s, normally they don't hang out with another guys.
yes, for sure. Clay and Jacob, even though they were snappers, I don't know if we said that or not, but Jacob was also a long snapper like Clay. And obviously, mine was older than Jasmine's a couple years. But because we were in the same area, right? She's just a couple, like 45 minutes away. We saw each other a little bit more. The boys kind of hung out a little bit more, I guess you would say, because they're from the same area than some of the out of state guys. But you're right. In the specialist world, they do group up with their year. That's who you're constantly competing against at camps and, chatting with to see who's getting offers where. You kind of keep up with your group a little bit more. So that makes sense.
And now,
Thank
did
you.
they start in soccer, or what did they start with when they came?
Yeah, well, Andy was too little, but Jose was playing soccer in Venezuela. So when we moved here, we were looking for soccer clubs to continue with him. Also, another thing that it was very up to keep the kids in sport is because we knew in Venezuela the culture to go to to college is almost everybody go to college. It's very rare that the people don't go to college. So we came here with that mentality. So we want our kids to go to college, and we know go to college in this country is a privilege. It's not something that everybody can do. And we knew that athletic scholarship is something that can help because to pay for a college is really, really hard. So that's the other reason that we keep the guys involved in soccer and in any sport. But because we were coming from soccer, well, they still play in soccer. So they play soccer. We move here, and one day, Jose, the football season was starting, and they were doing some work in the field that we were practicing soccer, and we have to move to another field. And the other field is where the football players were practicing for the season. So Jose started seeing that kids with helmets, pads, and he started asking, "What is that? I want to wear that." And my husband was a really, really Dolphin fans forever. He was watching football in Venezuela every year, but I didn't like it. I didn't like it because at the beginning I saw that the sport is just a bunch of guys hitting each other. So I don't want my kids to play that. So the the owner of the soccer club that we were, her son was playing in that league where we saw the kids. So she told me, "No, my son play. He's a kicker, and he don't get hit. If you want, your son can be a kicker too." And I said, "Oh, okay." So I told Jose, "If you want to play that, the only position that you can play is kicker. You want to do that?" And Jose said, "Oh yeah, I just want to wear the helmet. That's the only thing that he wanted." And
And how old was he?
yeah, it,
How old was he?
he was 10 years old at that time. Uh, that's how everything started. So I made the line. I was in the line to sign him up, and I was with Andy. And one of the coaches saw Andy and asked Andy, "Andy, are you going to play too?" And the eyes were like this. "Yeah, I want to play." And I said, "No, no, no. He has only 5 years old." Yeah. "No, no, lady, man. There is a team. There is a Pee-wee team. 5 years old can play." What? I didn't know. So finally, that day, I ended up signing both for to play football, and yeah, we started like that. So, of course, at that age, normally there's no kickers, but I want them to play kicker. So I started looking for someone to coach them, to teach them. So with one of the coach of the other older teams, he was a kicker himself here in Miami, and he offered to train my kids, and he started teaching them how to kick and everything. And well, here we are,
All these years later, they're still kicking
4 years
footballs.
later. Yeah.
That's amazing. I didn't know that. So Andy signed up by happenstance, really, just because Jose was playing, right?
Yes.
That's crazy.
Andy always wants to do everything that his brother do, so he wants to play football too. So Andy was playing every position. Well, Jose too. Both in youth football, they kind of you have to play different positions. Jose has more chance to kick because he was older, so he played, but they saved him a little bit because he was the kicker. So he played in the line and in the defense line and the offense line. And Andy was in Pee Wee. He was a running back, and he was excellent because he was running really really fast, and he made like a 30 something touchdown his first year. So it was super funny because he's so skinny. He was so
Yes.
skinny, and it was like a two legs running with a helmet. Because yeah, it was the videos that I have from that.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
And they are. They're very different. Like you look at them, you know they're brothers. You can tell they're brothers, but they're built very differently. Andy came in to Miami, I want to say a little guy. He looked so young. He did. He looked so young his freshman year. And now he's this grown man who's put on great weight in all the right spot. He looks the part now. He really looks like an NFL kicker, but I can't imagine him being a running back. Like, that's so hysterical in my head.
Yeah, he was a running back. Then growing up, he was playing wide receiver, corner. What else? He plays safety. And they continued playing during all of the middle school. And Jose stopped playing soccer in his junior year in high school. Andy stopped playing in as soon as he hit high school.
At any point, a time where they thought they wanted to play a different position over kicker, or were they always kind of like going back to kicking?
Yes.
Yeah, they couldn't deny their mom's DNA. They knew they were going to be kickers.
They never thought to play another position. They love to kick.
Awesome.
Did you send them to a lot of camps as well? And when did they start that? Did you take them to a lot of the camps?
Well, actually, that's something that I would like to know when we start all of this. I didn't know all the camps exist until Jose go to high school. One day in a mall, I was working, and a guy told me that his son was a kicker. And I said, "Oh, my son too." We start talking, and I say, "Oh, what do you do?" "No, I'm going to Coast Camp." You're going to what? So I he writing me down the name, and I start searching in Google. And at that point is when I saw that there is camp and people and professional and companies training kickers for college, for NFL, for everything. I didn't know that. Look, I was doing that for like 5, 6 years, and I didn't know. So when Jose started his sophomore year is when we went the first time to a Colts camp, and it was in New Jersey, and he won. He won that camp.
He won
So
his first camp?
yes, he
Wow.
won the camp. He won and he was basically he was the only sophomore there. He was juniors and seniors, and he won the competition there. And it was at that point was when we realized that okay, this guy maybe is good. We can do something here. And I started looking for more. So calls never came to Florida. And I tried to find something close by us, and that's when I found Corn Blue. Corn Blue trained here in Florida, so it was easy for us and cheaper because this is another thing. This is a very, very expensive sport. We keep going for all this year to Coast Camp. We start training with Corn Blue. At that point, I discovered Chris Sailor too, and we went to Chris Sailor sometimes. So and yeah, we travel a lot. And because Jose was already in high school and we was doing that with Jose, well, I take Andy with me. And so Andy started doing camps when he was 9, 10 years old. So I have pictures Andy and Jamie Coles, when Andy was 10, 11 years.
We were all at a camp, Jasmine. You probably don't even realize this. We were all at a camp together in Melbourne, Florida. Remember when Rubio and Sailor were at MCC in Melbourne?
I
We
was
were,
there.
yeah, we were all three of us were there. We were all there together and just didn't realize it.
No, we didn't realize at that point.
Yep. Why I remember it specifically is because Jose went to high school at help me here, Vivi.
Okay.
Yes, Booker T. Gosh,
Okay,
and
Washington.
Booker T and Coco were always meeting up in like generally the regional championship for the when the boys were in school. It was always down to Booker T or Coco, and whoever won that game went to the state. So we knew who Jose was because Clay knew Jose from Booker T, and so we were kind of watching him. And then we noticed Andy because he was like the youngest guy there. So it was really weird. And I knew you guys were at that camp too. Rubio, the long snapping coach, said he was never coming back to Florida after that because
The humidity.
it was so hot that week.
Yes, it was.
We were dying. We were melting out there.
Why they don't like to come to Florida?
They don't like the humidity. They're from the other coast.
Well, that's
And there's no humidity where Rubio's from, and Chris Saylor's a California guy. So there's no real humidity out there. So they didn't understand what our boys endured here trying to play football in those helmets. I know at Miami, they always use the summer training and the heat and the humidity of South Florida to the advantage, or they always preach that it was an advantage training and preparing in that kind of weather because other teams around the country weren't enduring that kind of heat and torture, really. So Andy's high school adventure was a little different than Jose's, right? Jose was a 4-year guy at Booker T. Andy had a little bit different plan. Was that because you guys learned how things played out for Jose? You wanted to take a little bit of a different path for Andy, or why did you choose a different path?
Exactly like that. Because Jose has a really, really rough path to get into college because we didn't know what to do, because we didn't have anybody to tell us, oh, you need to do this, you need to do this. So it was that. And I know maybe a lot of families, Latin family, has the same problem, is because a lot of us, we don't speak English very well. So I can maybe speak English fluid, a little fluid, but there is a lot of moms that don't speak English, and all this is environment is English speaking. So it's really hard to understand how everything works out. So with Jose, we made all the errors that we fixed with Andy, and that's why the path for Andy was 100% easier than with Jose. Jose didn't get any. Jose was a really good kicker. He was winning all the camps. He was ranking really hard, really high, and he never got any offer until his senior year, and it was for FIU, a local, a local. Actually, we went to all camps, and he won several times, and he never got the chance to get a scholarship there.
We laugh about that now, but that I know when that was happening, that was probably very frustrating for you guys that the big local school wasn't looking at the clearly the best kicker in the area.
Correct. Yes, it was. It was very frustrating. But well, at the end, at least he got FIU offer. And at that time, FIU got a really good coach that it was Butch Davis. And had a really, really good career in FIU. But because we learned what to do and what not to do, so we changed a lot of stuff with Andy. So that's why Andy starting Booker T, because it was the same school. But one of the things that we learned is the coach needs to be willing to give your kicker the chance to kick. You don't do anything being in a championship team if your coach is not willing to give you the kicker the chance. So what happened was Andy has the same coach that had Jose the first year. So he couldn't kick too much. I think he kicked like a 3, 4, basically extra points, like a 3 or 4 field goals at that time. When we got to the second year, it was his sophomore year, we were playing for the spot in the playoff. We were like in the 20-yard line, and we just need a field goal to win the game and go to the playoff. I don't remember it was playoff or going to the right to the final already, to the state. I don't remember exactly what was. And everybody, the whole stadium was screaming, field goal, field goal, field goal, field goal. Andy was there. One of the assistant coach was with Andy and preparing him to kick to win the game. And the head coach said no. They give the ball to the quarterback. They couldn't make it, and we lost. The same day, Andy said, I'm leaving. He said, I'm not playing here. So it was December. And in January, I changed him to another school. He went to Chamina Madonna, that is a private school, and he he made his name in that school because the coach was willing to give him the chance. It was at that time he was the only kicker that I saw in high school kicking 50-yard field goals. Andy in his sophomore year, in his junior year, he kicked like a 3 or 4 56-yard field goals that you never saw a high school kid doing that. But it was because the coach was willing to help him with that. So if we knew that, we have been changed Jose from school to school too. So, but we didn't know. That's why Jose kept a low score. Jose, I think he kicked in the whole high school. I, he don't have more than 14 field goals. So, yeah, so it was really really bad.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
there
why.
you go. There you go. That's the whole reason he didn't have the film besides camp film.
Correct. Yeah, but we didn't know that 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 stats, high school stats, were so important when you going to college. We didn't know that.
Yeah.
So we learned it with him, and that's why Andy in his sophomore year he got the scholarship for FIU, and in his junior year he got the offer. He got Southern Mississippi offer, and he also got the UNC. Well, it was in senior year already, but he got UNC offer.
UNC tried to come steal him from us.
Yes, he was, and it was very close.
I
That
know.
was
You've
it
shared
was
that with me.
yeah. But yes, everything that we learned from Moses' process, we try to don't make the same mistake. And Andy has the problem with Andy to change school again in his senior year. It was because COVID, because it, because COVID hit, and he wanted to enroll early in UM. He was already committed to UM, and he wanted to go to enroll in January. And because he was in a private school, that private school don't allow to graduate early. So I have to I have to move him to another school. This one it was Champaign, and they they are private too, but they were willing to help Andy to graduate early to be able to do it. And he played for them, but they had already a kicker, so Andy was more kicking field goals and more mentoring the kicker that they had than playing for them. So that was the deal. So I mentor you, I'm helping you, and you help me.
Yeah, that's actually a really unusual deal that you see happen at the high school level, but it definitely worked out. I mean, they won a state championship that year, didn't
They
they?
won the state championship that year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Andy got the state championship with Chaminade in his junior year, and then with Champaign the next year. So he won two states with two different schools.
Did you see that? Did Andy get more offers because of Jose? Did he have more offers or it's still the same?
No, he got more offer because he has more stats. He
Okay.
he showed what was capable to do. That Jose have Jose hasn't the chance to do it. He was doing in camps because every time that he went to a camp, he won. He made excellent stat, but that's not what the coaches see. The coaches in college wants to see how you did it in games in your school. So that's why Andy got more offers than Jose. And
Also,
of course, I think maybe also because Jose was having a really good season in FIU. So I think maybe it could be a percentage of that. They go, this is a little brother, so he should be good too. So maybe yes, maybe can something like that. But I'm 90% sure it was more for his stats in high school that he can show stats in high school than the other part.
Yeah, we know they wanna see live kicking, they wanna see live snapping, they wanna see the blocking, they wanna see how you react if there is a bad snap for a kicker. All those things are important for coaches to diagnose whether or not you can handle it at the college level. Everybody can kick a ball just about. You see a lot more guys kicking 50-yarders at camps than you actually do in live games. So, I agree, I think he probably I didn't know he only kicked 14 field goals his entire career in high school. That's
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 crazy, right?
mind-blowing to me.
Hmm. Yep.
I think that's a South Florida attitude, though, don't you? Because special teams are
Mhm.
not big in South Florida. There's so many athletes. They score so many touchdowns. You know
Yep.
what I mean? Like it's 7 points is more important than 3. I get it. That wins games. But if the game is on the line and it's a 2-point game and you've got a kicker, you can win. You don't have to score a touchdown. You can win
Exactly.
with a kick.
Yeah, but here, at least in Miami, not all the coaches are willing to give the kickers the chance. They want to show the wide receivers, the quarterback,
Yes.
all the guys, not the kicker.
Yeah, we learned that when Clay was playing because you would play against South Florida teams and you would see they really didn't have a punter because they didn't need a punter. They scored touchdowns. They didn't kick the ball. And it wasn't something that was really taught, I don't believe, for a lot of years at the youth level. I think guys like your boys and some other really good kickers that have come out from the area have kind of changed the attitude down there. They do kick more. There are a lot more punters that are coming out of South Florida, a lot more kickers coming out of South Florida. Because football's good. You have great teams down there, but I didn't man, Jose only kicked 14 field goals. That's crazy.
And now,
Nothing.
did they punt as well in high school or just strictly?
Yes.
Oh, they
Yeah.
did punt as well.
Yeah, because they don't have that mentality to have a kicker and a punter.
Right.
So both
That's
both were kicker punters. Yeah, they punt kick both.
They choose to focus solely on place kicking and kickoffs versus punting. Where was it?
No good punting
Not
punters.
good.
They are not good.
Okay. I didn't know.
They
I
are
didn't know they punted.
Yeah, they are okay. So in emergencies, they can punt. But no, you need to focus on that. You need to be, that's why we are specialists. So you
That's
need to be
right.
a specialist.
That's right. I agree. I agree. South Florida, lots of Latino families down there. Did you have a lot of other moms that you bonded with down there, or did you kind of feel alone? How did you kind of feel being a Latino mom?
Football, you are alone because there is not many Latinas playing. In soccer is the other way is more Latino than American people. But in football, yes, it's really hard for a Latino guy to enter, and especially if the family don't speak English, because how you communicate with the coach, how you communicate, because okay, your son speak English very well because they're school, they understand everything, but when your son trying to explain it to you, if you don't understand, you are lost, and you don't have the tools to help them. And I know because I have friends that they play soccer with me, and then they want with Andy or with Jose, and then they wanted to enter in football too. And I told them, okay, you need to do this, you need to do that, you need to. So there is the mentality of Latino people to that sacrifice, to left everything behind and just focus in your kids going to train, expend all the money to travel the country, to send your guy to a camp in California, in Vegas, in Wisconsin. So because we travel wherever the camp will be, we travel where the camp was. So not everybody is willing to do it. And in the Latino community, I think they're less willing to do. I don't know if you can understand, but maybe American people don't do it either. But in the mentality that we have is that no, 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 this is This is too complicated. Now, let's go continue soccer. That's easier for us. That I can understand the game. That's the other thing. Not all Latino people understand the game. So it's really hard when you don't understand what your son is doing or how he is doing. So I think that's why you don't see too many Latinas in football because it's not easy for us. It's very difficult to understand. For me, the fact at the beginning, remember, I didn't like I didn't like the sport, and I have to learn what I mean. No, four down, first down, first and goal. What I mean, I was crazy when they start when they start playing. I didn't understand the game, and it was really hard. And so you need to put a lot of effort to do all this. So it's really really challenge. And my friends that started trying to put the kids kicking, they stop it. They stop it. They said, "No, I can't. I can't." They don't wanna do it.
How did you end up so lucky, Vivi, that both your boys stayed in Miami?
I think because I pray a lot. I think because I pray a lot that please because I have to let go of my daughter already. I don't want them to leave because my daughter went to New York. She got a scholarship over there. She was alone over there. My little girl alone in that city. It was hard. So I was praying too much. That's why when Jose got the FIU scholarship, we say, "Babe, perfect. Anything else? That's perfect."
Did he commit to FIU right away?
Yes, he committed right away because uh, it was the only one first, and second, he wanted to stay too.
Did he?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So, not to get into too many details, because we don't need to get into too many details, but how did Jose end up becoming a Miami Hurricane?
Well, it was a really casualty. Andy was already offered, already committed, but it was a gap in between how was the situation of the team in 2019. I think in 2019 was uh the worst uh I don't know how to say. It was bad that they couldn't win games. And of course, always they blame the kickers. And no, it wasn't the kickers, but they blamed the kickers. So, and everybody was because Andy was already committed, and Andy was at the same time kicking 56, 57-yard field goals in high school. So everybody was dreaming about that. And Jose graduated in FIU. And that year, FIU was also having problems with the coaching. The situation inside FIU was really weird. And Jose said, I want to leave. So I don't want to stay here. And he dreaming to play in a big school. He decided to enter the transfer portal and he was talking to Oregon at that time. And he was willing to leave. He was willing to go wherever he wanted. But Miami called. And when Miami called, he started, of course, okay, it's Miami. You're going to stay here. You don't need to leave. And so then he decided. But it was really a casualty. It was the time. It was perfect time. The timing was excellent because he could be there the year that Adi need to finish high school. And it was the best year for him. Well, for him, for the school, for everything.
I think the biggest thing that Miami Hurricane fans missed out on when it came to Jose was it was COVID.
Uh-huh.
And there weren't very many people in the stadium to feel the excitement that he deserved. I mean, I lived it. So he kicked some of the biggest kicks in the biggest moments. I mean, the Louisville kick will probably be my favorite moment of my son's career because that kick was just So impressive. I know you're probably like me, Vivi. You can see it in your head right now, that kick happening. But I think the biggest thing for Miami fans is they missed out on really experiencing Jose and
Yes.
all the excitement that came along. And then once he finished his incredible year and he won the Groza Award, which is, for those of you who are listening that may not know, is the top kicker in the country. Here comes little brother,
Yes.
and then we got to experience Andy all 4 years of doing his thing. I think Miami Hurricane fans missed out on the true legacy that Jose started for the Borregales family in general. The boys are legends now. They're going to forever be legends. Their names are hanging in the indoor facility. Andy's name was just added to the hallway where all the NFL players are. Um, Jose was an All American, consensus All American.
Unanimous on America.
Yeah, consensus, all of them, everybody, all the different type of All Americans that you can be in college football. Jose won in 2020
Yeah, and you know that he had uh, an extra year for because of COVID year,
because of
and
COVID.
yeah, and I would love him to stay, but he didn't want it. He was ready to go. The main reason was he didn't want to sit down Andy for a year. So he wanted Andy to experience his college since the beginning. So he didn't want to, be in front of him. It would be, for me, it would be excellent because both will be playing the same team at the same time. It will be perfect. But he didn't want it to cut his brother career. So that's why he didn't stay.
And he was on top. I mean, he
Yeah.
was the best kicker in the country. If you're going to leave, leaving on top is a pretty good way to go out to go into becoming a professional athlete. Did they ever, because of the age gap, did they ever play on a team together?
They have they had 5 years apart. They never played together.
Andy wore the same number at Miami that Jose wore, so that was nice. You didn't have to go buy any more new jerseys. You already had jerseys prepared.
Yes, that was good.
That was good. That was good. Their number definitely will go down in history for them because they had incredible careers there. If you could change one thing, what would you have changed? Either boy.
I would change that. Jose, I would like to Jose to stay one more year. That's the only thing that I would change.
Yeah, just for you selfishly, or you think another year would have been good for him?
I think 1 year it will be good for him because the reason why he wanted to leave FIU was because he wanted to experience that excitement to kick in front of 70,000 people. And because it was COVID, he couldn't. So if he stayed one more year, he had the chance to leave that.
Yeah.
And I think that's something that maybe could help him later.
From there, he went to the Tampa Bay Bucks. So, what was the process? Kind of, how did he get there?
Well, and of course, he went to the draft and he was projected like at the top kicker in the draft. And surprise, surprise, he didn't get drafted. That year, they only draft one kicker, and he was the kicker that they drafted. So he ended up signing a free agent contract with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He did really good in the training camp, and Tampa Bay didn't let him to kick in any of the preseason game that year because they were scared that if other team see what they were seeing, they're gonna pick him up. And, uh, they are in practice squad, but they have all the team has 1 or 2 days where they can pick any player that you have in your practice squad. So they don't want anybody to pick Jose, so they they didn't want to show him. So they didn't let him kick any of those preseason games, and also, he was protected in the practice squad. So he was a year there that nobody see him. So in the second year, when he gonna give him the chance to compete for the job, He was competing with a veteran, with a 14 years veteran. So this guy is will not allow he 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 will not permit to lose his job with a rookie. So that guy did whatever he need to do to keep his job. And the team, it wasn't ready to go with a rookie, with a unproven kicker, because they had Tom Brady as a quarterback. So they cannot permit to have a rookie as a kicker. So it was really hard for him to win that job. And because he couldn't show what he was capable to do, no other team was willing to take him after that, because they kept him out of the sight of everybody. For me, that's why Jose is not in the league right now. Because if they give him the chance to kick in those preseason games, he will be in the league right now.
Somebody would have picked him up. You're 100% correct.
100%. 100%.
While it was a compliment to be a protected practice player, I mean, that's a huge compliment. Doesn't happen to kickers very often at all. In the end, they were just keeping him a little secret. And ultimately, when they let that veteran go, who you didn't say this, but the veteran also had just signed a huge contract. If they would have let him go, it would have cost that particular team a lot of money to let the rookie win, right? To bring the rookie on. They would have saved money, but they wouldn't have saved money because of the way the salary cap and stuff works. But it was a side compliment. I've never heard of a kicker being protected like Jose was, but in the end, it was a wasted year.
It's frustrating because he has so much potential to be a
Hmm.
really good kicker in the NFL. But it is what it is. He's
It
now
is.
he tried to get back. He played in the XFL. Also, it, unfortunately, he went to the worst team in that XFL. Who couldn't kick. He has like a 6 kicks only in that year. So it was it wasn't for him, definitely.
Hearing all of this at once, Vivi, I'm putting it together. Like in high school, he wasn't given the opportunity that he
Mhm.
needed. And he took an opportunity at FIU, and he was probably one of the best kickers in FIU history. Came over to the Miami Hurricanes, was the best kicker, and then went to an NFL team, didn't have the right opportunities, and then went to an XFL team who did not take special teams serious at all. They didn't even have a long snapper on on roster.
Exactly.
They had a tight end who didn't practice with Jose because he was busy being a tight end
Yes.
at practice.
It was crazy.
It was crazy. Yeah, it was crazy. So, what did you do differently for Andy? Because clearly it's all different. Andy got drafted. Andy has a great opportunity to be the guy. We're all hoping that he is the guy for the Patriots this year. So, what did you do differently when it came to Andy's turn?
And what we did, get the scholarship in UM. After that, he did everything himself because he play how he has to supposed to play, and we really don't need to do anything else. He do what he need to do. He has the number. He has the character to be a good kicker. He had a really good teammates because he has the pleasure to have a really good snapper for 2 years. And I don't know what is that guy is, but I don't know where he is right now.
We don't know what happened to that guy.
But it was amazing those 2 years that these three guys play, Lou, Clay, and Andy, that were amazing because they were like a clock.
Hold on a second. Andy had a different holder or snapper each year, so he didn't have a consistent group his whole 4 years.
Correct.
That's unfortunate.
Yes. No, but it's good.
It made him a better kicker, though.
Yeah,
Right.
it's good. At the end, it's good because he need to adapt what whoever is snapping the ball and whoever is holding the ball. So he needs to adapt to that. So I think he did everything by himself. to get to the point that he is right now. And talking about agents, I think that with Jose, maybe we didn't know too much the process to hire an agent, and he just hired an agent that he was talking to, and I don't know if maybe that ended up to to don't work out too good. And but I don't know. At this point, anything. I think NFL is a business, so they don't care who you are or what you do. If you do your job and you do it good, you stay. If you make one mistake, you're out. Doesn't matter who your agent is. Doesn't matter where you come from. That's what I think now.
Yeah, I think it's something that a lot of parents need to understand is that the NFL is a business. It's very different than college. We may be seeing college headed that way.
Yeah, college seems to be becoming more of a business like that, though.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Now in NIL, now is a business like NFL. So definitely. But thank God we didn't have to leave up that part, but because it's hard. For example, you graduate, you finish your career business administration, and you're gonna get a job, and you graduate summa cum laude with the best grades. You were the top 5 of your class, and you go to a big company, and the company say, no, I cannot hire you because you don't have the experience. And it's exactly the same in the NFL. You could be the best player, but if you don't have the contact, the relationship, something that help you to enter there, you're never gonna enter. Doesn't matter how good you are.
Really solid point. Yeah, I think you're right. Your boys were with our boys when it came to NIL, and it's none of our business money. But did your boys have an NIL agent, or did they do things on their own when it came to coming up with their deals and working through things? How did they work through NIL?
Andy got an agent since NIL started. Andy got an agent, and it's the same agent that he kept for his professional career. But I think it was a good idea to get an agent. I think it's easier when you have somebody helping you with that. I think when you enter it in the college, you are at 18 years old guy that mostly you don't know how to make a deal for you. I think it's a good idea to get a NIL agent for all the kids. They're gonna negotiate for you better than you gonna do it, unless maybe you have your mom or dad that are willing to do it if they know. But because I didn't know, so I prefer them to have an NIL agent. If somebody asks me, I will recommend 100% to get an agent for that.
That's good. That's great knowledge for other parents out there that it's important. Was Jose the first year of NIL, or was Andy the first year of NIL?
And it was.
So Jose didn't have any of it.
But does Jose go back? Was he part of the NIL back? Like
He
the
was
No.
what they're doing now? Oh, no, he would have been
no,
out
the
by then.
NIL started in 2021, and
So it was
Jose started
Andy's first year.
2020. Yeah,
That's right.
and he entered when the NIL started. Mhm.
My respect for Jose after this conversation is through the roof because he missed out on a lot. He didn't get NIL either.
Either, yeah.
I mean, he does have the Groza Award, which is insane. No,
What's Jose doing now?
He's coaching in a high school and is working as a PE teacher right now, and try to see if he can get into the coaching carousel. So let's see.
and if you are a parent of a kicker, Jose does private lessons in South Florida right now. He's getting on that train. I mean, if you're going to send your child somewhere, I think having them being coached by a Groza Award winner is probably pretty smart. Probably good a good idea if you get down to the South Florida area. If you're listening in the South Florida area, I certainly would send my child to Jose. He knows what he's doing clearly. If you're listening and you have never heard of the Groza Award, it is like the Heisman for kickers. It is one of the national awards that is given out every year. Jose won it COVID year, so the ceremony was a little bit different for him. They were presented the award at their house. We all were watching and screaming. I know in my house we were, anyways. It was a pretty special time to see him like get that. Was probably one of the most special moments that I've been a part of when it wasn't my child. Sure made me proud to see him do that.
So, Vivian, what was the most challenging part of the journey for either of the boys or both of them?
The training to accommodate, to go to all the camps, to have the money to pay for all the camps. I remember when Jose was in his senior year. It was one summer. I was traveling 12 time during a month to different cities to go to the college camp and this college or this training camp with calls or Crusader, whatever it was. In a month, we take a airplane 12 times. That's a lot of money, a lot of effort. And I think that's the most challenging part.
Yeah, yeah, because you have to get coaches to look at you somewhere, and in the specialist world, it really does start at those bigger camps across the country with the bigger name trainers, Sailor, Rubio, Coles, Cornblue. You know, you have to get to those places. You get stars, you get all these things, and then coaches will look at you a little differently. It's not always the way you get it. I mean, you don't get those offers because you have a certain number of stars, but you certainly get the initial looks, and then they go from there. It does require us to travel. We all three of us moms, we were all over the country trying to get those opportunities for our boys. Little different for specialists than it would be for some of the other positions. They a little more traveling, I think, for us, less opportunity.
More traveling and more expensive because if you have a son that is a wide receiver, you have a lot of 7-on-7 camps that is $40, $30,
Yes.
$50. Every camp that we went, the minimum it was $250, $300. Every single camp, plus the ticket, plus the hotel, plus the rental car. So it is very, very expensive for a specialist. So
Did you narrow things down when you went to those 12 different camps in that 1 month? Did you pick colleges that you knew needed Jose that next year?
yes. And if someone wants my advice, I think we choose too much.
Okay.
So I think we could narrow a little more and done because at the end he was injured because he kicked so much in that month that the last camp we was in Georgia doing some camp that I don't remember. And Appalachian State was doing a mega camp in Jacksonville and they want to see Jose. So we drove from Georgia to Jacksonville to kick in that mega camp and Jose couldn't kick because he has a growing pain at that time because he was kicking too much. So that's another thing that I learned that we didn't make that mistake with Andy. With Andy, we didn't do too much summer camps, college camps, because it was bad for him. He ended up injured that summer. He couldn't kick in front of Appalachian State coaches.
Wow.
Hmm? They basically told us to give herself a rest. So, like, you don't want to over snap the ball at 5 camps in a week because if you have a bad snap, that's just as bad as if you did really well. So you have
Exactly.
to make sure that you're tip top shape, and if that means you have to scale it back and not go to so many places, you're better to do really well at 3 places than to do mediocre 6.
Exactly. Yes. That's my big advice to any mom hearing this. Narrow that list as much as possible because it gonna end up hurting the kid.
That's a really good point that you made. I want to go back to about 7-on-7. Specialists don't participate in 7-on-7 unless you play a secondary position, like if you're like a snapper and a tight end, which you see a lot in the NFL. As the backups will be a tight end that's trained as a snapper. But when it comes to the real world of college, specialists are specialists. They go to much smaller camps. There's less of them, so they do honestly just cost more because there's less kids there versus, you get 1,000 kids at an offensive camp, you're going to have 80, 60, 80 kids at a kicker snapper camp. So it costs a lot more. It was worth it for our three. I mean, I would tell everybody in the world, if you want to get your kid involved, like long snapping, kicking, punting are three of the best positions in my opinion, just because I had such a great experience as a mom, but I understand why everybody wants to be a quarterback too. It's cooler, right? It's cool. It's a cooler position than being a long snapper, being a kicker.
But our boys still got the same swag and all the same things as what they got.
Exactly. Still got the education. Yeah, still got the education. They all played, they all lived their dream. So, yeah, but it is very different playing, and you're right. The money is different, and you need to focus where your family can focus. And that means less camps. Then you pick the right camps to go to. You do the research to find the right camps. You train with somebody locally that is worth the money. Mine, Clay, I don't know if you know this or not, Vivi, but Clay trained with not only on the national level, right, with a national coach, but he trained locally with a college player. And I think that gave him such an advantage because he was talking to us about what was happening in his immediate life. And it was so relevant to what we were about to do. If you're in South Florida, I'm going to go ahead and throw it out here one more time. You need to look on social media, find Jose Borregales' social media, and get down there and train with him because he knows what it is to be a college athlete. He knows what it is to be a professional athlete as well. And that's a really good place to spend your money, is with somebody who actually knows and lived it. I know it really was different for us. We trained, and I know Jasmine did a little bit with the same young man, but he told Clay, hey, you need to be this weight. You're going to feel fat. And he did feel fat, but you need to be this weight going into these college camps because this is what the college coaches want to see you come in as. And then they're going to revamp your body. You're going to lose some weight. You're going to grow shoulders. You're going to become a man, but they want to see you at 220. And Clay felt fat. He never played at 220. He always played at like 210, 205. And then his senior year, he played at 195. But we just got those little bit of insights from a kid that was snapping on Saturday. And it was so, so beneficial. It was worth every penny that I paid him. And looking back, I probably should have paid him more. You know what I mean? Because it was that valuable.
Yeah, and it's true because it's like your personal training. It's a
Yes.
one-on-one training. When you go to this camp, yes, you're gonna compete. The good thing about this camp for me is not what they gonna teach you because normally in those camps you don't learn too much. Those camps give your kids the opportunity to place themselves in the group. Okay, where I am. Okay, I'm class 2025. In what position I am with my class? Oh, there is a lot of kids in there is better than me. I'm one of the best in the 2025. That's what for me those camps are good for because your kid can realize, okay, I'm really good. I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing because I'm on top of my class. Or if it's the bottom of the class, so your kids can realize, okay, I need to work harder. I need to change things, and or I need to work in this. I need to work to try to go up in my class to get the chance to be seen for a college coach and get the chance to get a scholarship. That those camps are for me are the best for that. But for training, go to the personal trainer. Go to, like you said, a college guy or a coach that can train one on one with you, because that's the one that is going to correct your steps or your position to snap. Whatever they need to correct is that one on one.
I totally agree. And you can find old college players, social media. If you're looking, you don't know, you want to find, you're listening to us and you're like, I want a local person, jump on social media, see what young men or women are from your area, reach out to them. If they are playing right now, they're probably not home as much. Or if you live near college campus, have your son or daughter reach out to somebody that plays their position near you. Shoot them a DM, say, hey, I'd love to train with you. Kids want to make money.
Yes.
And what they tell you is just going to be so valuable.
Yes. You're right.
If you're in South Florida, call Jose Borregales.
You have his phone number too, Heather?
I could give out his social media handle. We'll tag him when we post this. We'll tag him. Hey, also, before we get off onto anything, I just want to give a shout out to one of our Miami Hurricane coaches who lived through both of our boys' careers. It's very rare that there is a coach on staff for that long, considering Clay got there in 2018 and it's now 2025. So he's been there forever. And that's Danny, Coach Danny Coulter, one of our favorites. I know you and I both love him dearly.
He has been I don't know the word, because he has been so important in my kid's life.
Same.
Yes, he's one of the best coaches. Well, I think the best.
Yeah, I think so too. And then, I mean, if you look at the track record while he's been there, it's been top. I don't think he gets enough credit for how good things have been. And it's probably a lot of it is because he's been there for so long. But it's also one of those things where a lot of parents look for certain traits when they're sending their young men off to grow up the next 4 years away from us for the first time. And even though your boys were really right down the street, you didn't get them every day because when you play college football, the team owns you.
Yes.
You don't get as much time as you want, no matter if you're 5 minutes up the road or 3 hours up the road or an airplane away, like Jasmine was with hers. But you look for characteristics in the coaches that you trust and that are going to help your young men and women become the adults that they want to be. And we were very, very blessed.
Yes.
Both of us were very blessed with that. And mine's back working with him, which is absolutely insane. But I'm excited because I know that he's going to learn how to be a coach from the right people. And that's important to me because he was so good to him in college. And now he gets the chance to work with them. So,
Yeah, that's true.
yeah, it's important. Coaching staffs are important. I think it's something that's been mentioned or touched on in every single one of our podcasts. Moms, we look for those characteristics. We look for men who are leaders and going to lead our children the right way. You and I have been blessed because we shared it. And I know Jasmine's mentioned to me how important those guys were in her son's life. So when you're going on those visits, when you're visiting those college camps, as a parent, you have to step back a little bit and view how those coaches are interacting with your kids, and you can take a lot away from that. I think, anyways, as a mom, that's what I did.
Yeah, that is very important to know that college is also a business, and coaches can be very, very untrustworthy. So you need to be careful what the coaches said, and you need to trust the coach. And it's really, really difficult to find the right coach for your kids. So as a parent, you need to be very careful with that, because the
You do.
coaches, they will tell you what you want to hear.
Hmm.
They're not going to tell you the truth. So you need to try to get the truth from them. So it's very important.
Find genuine human beings, I think, is
Yes.
important. That's another thing that we've heard a lot is genuine. I know that there wasn't a time that I really worried about my son in college because I trusted the people around him so much that I knew he was in good hands. And I don't know if that's rare, if everybody feels that way, but I know that that's part of our experience was good human beings were always around my son, and I am forever grateful for that.
So now, Vivian, when you go to your games, you have a clear plastic bag that you have to bring in. What are three things that you make sure are always in the bag?
The first thing that is never out of my bag is my iPad. I record every single kick of my kids in every game. And I have been doing that since they were playing youth football. Extra points, kickoff, everything. So that's the first thing that is in my bag. And then my towel and my personal fan because it's really hot.
People do not understand how hot it is on a Saturday in what is called the fall, but it is not the fall in Florida in Hard
Yeah,
Rock Stadium.
You might not need that fan in Foxborough, though.
Yeah, you might not.
maybe not.
You might need mittens.
You might need mittens. 3 things are so on point for you. Like, yes. The only thing I thought you may throw in is like a poncho because we get the rainstorms. I always had a poncho at
I always
Miami.
thought about the poncho.
Did you really?
Yes. I always think about it and I always forgot. Always. And I ended up wet.
But where we sat high, we stayed pretty dry even in the storms. Yeah, that was strategic.
Thank you for joining us today, Vivian. We really enjoyed speaking with you and learning about everything. So we really appreciate your time.
No, thank you for inviting me. I really like what you're doing in this podcast. I hear all the podcasts that you already paused, and I been amazing to learn from another sports because we are football moms and we talk about football. But the lacrosse podcast was super cool, and the basketball one. So it was really fun. So I hope this podcast gets as much as publicity that it need because I think a lot of people that wants to start this journey, this podcast, it will be very helpful.
I think you guys' journey is very different too than the typical football parent, with your background and the boys' background and coming to the States and having to learn. I definitely think there's a lot of moms out there that can take away and learn a lot from you, Vivi. So thank you. And as always, go Canes.
Go Canes. Thank you.